Well, hello, hello.
We like to mix up the music a little bit from time to time.
Especially on a quiet day. So welcome to Forecasting with Friends, everyone.
Yeah, we got a good one today because we're not just going to be blabbing about weather maps. We're going to learn about new technologies, you know, saving the planet and all of that good stuff.
And all this is happening right here in H-Town.
And it's all happening right here in H-Town. We also, and this is just a little tease ahead too, tomorrow, we're going to have the sliders tomorrow. Aren't you
doing it? Yes. I was thinking of like those workout things where you do sliders. It's like, I guess. No, I'm making chicken parm meatball sliders.
Yeah, so we're going to have those tomorrow on the show.
And a lot of animal videos tomorrow.
Yes, and you
Friday.
know, we save our animal videos for Fridays too. And let me tell you, we've got some good ones. We have a tragedy involving a fat bear, but other than that, it's all really good stuff.
Like 10 of them for you. So.
Yeah, we've got a lot of them. So, okay, in all seriousness this morning, we're very happy to have returning back to the show, Mr. Zimri Hinshaw. So, we had, for 3 weeks, we were talking about Houston Energy and Climate Week. We had a lot of great guests on. We wanted to bring Mr. Hinshaw back. He's the CEO of Rheom Materials. And let me tell you something. I don't know about you, but what his company does is a little bit over my head.
Agreed.
I want to learn more about it.
Yes, but it has to do with these old plastics that could actually be good for the environment.
That's right. So Zimri, welcome to the show. We're holding, I don't think you can see, but we're holding in our hands right now regular old plastic water bottles. But your company is doing a whole new world of things. So can you maybe like begin at the beginning? Tell us the basics of what Rheom Materials makes, what your goals are.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's an honor to be on the show. And Rheom Materials is a company that's creating bio-based alternatives to existing petrochemical plastics, but we actually use the exact same infrastructure, the exact same equipment and machines that plastics use to scale. So we're just changing the materials, but not the manufacturing. And that's kind of where our niche is. That's what we do. We have two products. One is Shorai, which is, I'll kind of hold up, you can see. This is our bio-based leather alternative. So think of the interior of your car, think of a wallet, a handbag, that kind of thing. And our second material is Benri, which is our 100% bio-based injection molded resin. So think of alternatives to hard plastics like the water bottles that y'all are holding up, or a pair of sunglasses, or a comb. Or a guitar pick, that kind of thing. So that's kind of what we do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm interested in, okay, so we have, you know, you go to the east side of Houston or you go down to Brazil, I mean, you've got all of the petrochem plants and a lot of them are making these plastic materials, but from petroleum. So you're saying you could use the same infrastructure that's there, but instead of putting petroleum in there, it's coming from some other source. What is the source that you guys are taking it from?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's exactly right. If you can produce petrochemicals in these plants and you can create those materials and those pellets, you can absolutely create our materials as well. In terms of our feedstocks and where these ingredients are coming from, one of our main ingredients comes from a bacteria. So this bacteria, you can feed sugar and it will produce a polymer or a bioplastic that we're using. But we also use other things like bamboo waste, algae and seaweed, and a whole other bunch of interesting plant-based materials that we can fine-tune the properties of.
So, I mean, seaweed, you're saying all these things. How did you come up with this? I mean, that's truly incredible because we both lived in Florida, and let me tell you, the folks hate the seaweed out there. So
there's plenty of it to use, yeah.
So how did this all come about?
Yeah, so I grew up in Japan and in Okinawa, and I actually went to a Japanese high school, and I used to hang out with these motorcycle kids, and they used to wear these amazing leather jackets with these amazing designs. So when I came back to the US, I wanted to design these Japanese biker jackets for an American audience, but I didn't want to use animal leather or plastic because I've been vegetarian for 10 plus years now. It just didn't align with my values. And so I started looking for other solutions and really couldn't find any materials that worked really well. And that's when I realized that maybe there was a bigger opportunity to make a more of an impact in the world and the environment by creating those materials for brands instead of creating the jackets. So that's originally where I got the idea. We used to be called Bucha Bio back in the day because we used to make materials out of kombucha. Today, that's changed a lot, but we used to grow materials. I grew my first materials under my roommate's bed in Philadelphia, which he was not too happy about, but he started something really amazing. So
I did read that on your website. Okay, so kombucha. I've tried it before. It's gross.
And you hate it?
But I know it's healthy. I know it got really popular.
Good for your tummy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good. It's a fermented drink. If for anybody who hasn't tried it yet, it's got what do you call it? A flavor, acquired taste.
Yes.
But where did you go from drinking kombucha to making materials out of it?
So, and again, we used to do that. And we used to grow these in large tubs, but we realized as a company, and that's why we rebranded from Bucha Bio to Rheom Materials, is that customers don't necessarily care exactly how it's made. They care more about what the bio-based content. How sustainable is it? Can it compost at its end of life? What the properties are. So we shifted away from kombucha later and more towards the different bioplastics, the different algae-based additives and these kinds of things that can be useful in plastics manufacturing. So the company's definitely evolved quite a bit since my early dormitory days in Temple University.
Well, that's what I was actually asking more about, like, in the dorm. How did this come up in the conversation?
Your roommate's like,
hey, just trust me, bro. This is going to be big in a few years. And now where is that roommate right now? Is he somewhere saying, gosh, Zimri was onto something?
I don't know where he is.
Let's text him right now.
Yeah, I would love to reach out. I know he was pretty upset because kombucha does smell pretty bad, and I was growing it right under his bed. So probably best maybe we don't reach out. We just let that one lie.
Let me ask you this. One of the topics that I got into during week one of Houston Energy and Climate Week was my belief that everything comes down to the almighty dollar. And getting people to change their behavior, getting companies to change the way they do things, I think is going to come down to, are they going to make more profit, either on the front end, back end, whatever it is. Is that getting these supplies from algae or seaweed or any other sources versus pulling it out of the ground, is that eventually going to be cost effective?
Absolutely. As these industries grow, as the raw materials that we're sourcing get manufactured more, especially more here in the United States. Corn is pretty cheap. Sugar is pretty cheap. And so there is amazing unit economics that are coming, 5-10 years down the road that are going to drive down the price of these materials that we can be more competitive with petrochemicals. But the thing is that when you think about petrochemicals, you can't just think of the dollar cost. Of course, that's important. You have to also think about the cost of cleanup to the environment, cleanup to the end application, the fact that this is going to sit in a landfill for 500 plus years and take up that space. So petrochemicals are a lot more expensive than you think, if you think a little bit more holistically.
So looking ahead, you had mentioned, 5 to 10 years down the road, what other types of materials do you guys think that you'll be making in your company? And what could that mean for the person who wants to maybe go buy their next iPhone case or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, today we're doing Shorai, this leather alternative, as well as Benri, the hard injection molded bioplastic resin. And we're looking at applications like phone cases. So absolutely, we're looking to partner with different customers that are making phone cases. Definitely think about the interior of your car, your seat, your steering wheel. Those can be made out of biomaterials. Think about your sunglasses. In the future, as we grow and as we raise more capital from the amazing investors that we have right here in Houston, we're looking to do biofibers. So think about textiles and clothing and fabrics. And that's just the start. There's hundreds of different materials that we could replace that basically just look around you. Anywhere that you see plastics, your computer, your mouse, your headphones, your charger, whatever, all of this could be made out of biomaterials. All of this could be more sustainable. Anywhere you see plastics is where our mission is to replace them.
On the subject of energy and climate, what ultimately, let's say maybe 10, 20, 30 years down the line, what kind of impact do you think all of these materials from Rheom Materials and all of the technological advances that you're making, what kind of overall impact do you think that this technology could have on the environment, the path we're going down?
Yeah, absolutely. So our materials, we've had life cycle analysis performed and they can be up to 80% less carbon intensive than a petrochemical plastic. So, not only are our materials not going to take up space in landfills because they're going to biodegrade at their end of life. So think about, less landfills, less trash, cleaner environments, more vegetation. Also think about the ocean, less plastic waste in the ocean. These materials will break down. The bacteria in the ocean will break these materials down. So, we're not going to have those giant floating islands made out of trash anymore if we can think about the end of life from the beginning. So those are just some of the more tangible impacts that our material will make on the physical environment, not to mention, of course, the carbon dioxide reduction in the atmosphere. So, a cooler planet, not as hot, not as many tropical storms. Here in Houston, we've been experiencing more and more intense climate-related storms. Let's slow that process down a little bit. We can still make that impact. We can still invest in these solutions. So that's just some of the impact that we're looking to have in the mid to long term.
And then you're here in Houston. How has the community been? Because we know that there's so many companies that been featuring over the last few months. What is it like here? And obviously you're looking to continue to grow right here in H-Town.
Houston has been an amazing place to move the company, to grow the company. And one of those things is it's so affordable. The other thing is the people here have a very pragmatic, let's get it done attitude that really aligns with our ethos. And then, of course, the tax environment. And most importantly, the talent. We have amazing chemistry and engineering talent right here in Houston from oil and gas companies. We've been able to build an amazing team around that. So Houston has definitely been an amazing environment for us to grow. The climate tech community here is amazing. We have got a lot of other founders in the city working on fun stuff. And we're a little bit unique. We're kind of the only company in town working in fashion. So we get to attract a lot of fun people who want to work specifically in that, which is normally reserved for places like New York or Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I know a lot of people, especially in this industry, we wear so many clothes, but that they're trying to not buy new or buy, vegan products. So that would be a great alternative as well.
Yeah, it seems like a partnership with like a designer brand, or for some reason like Tesla popped into my head for the
that's a good idea.
For the leather material, but even if you could get is that the kind of thing? I mean, this is so big, Zimri. I know it's like moving in so many different directions, but you've got industrial uses of this stuff, like you said, making the hard parts inside of car. But then you also have like this fashion thing where a fabric or a shoe leather or that kind of thing, if it gets picked up by a noteworthy brand, could
be huge.
Kind of thrust us to the forefront. So you got a lot of spinning plates right now.
Yeah, we're definitely looking to diversify. We don't want to just be in one industry. We want to have multiple products in multiple, industries, and make sure that we're a robust business that can continue to thrive no matter the economic climate. So we definitely are looking to have, shoes and sunglasses and fashion trim, buttons and zippers and phone cases and car interiors. And the more that we do, the more impact that we can have. So definitely, we've got a lot of spinning plates, but don't worry, we're focused, we're ready to go.
I have one last question, and it does have to do with jobs in Houston. And a lot of people here, have been working in petroleum, either upstream, downstream, something to do with petroleum. It's been their livelihood. It was their dad's livelihood. It was their granddad's livelihood. It's sort of the way they've built their life around here. This doesn't sound like it's really a threat to that, though, because like you said, the industry is really pretty similar to move the process along, to make those products.
And we've done that intentionally. You know, we want to come to Houston. We are a Houston company. We have a Houston identity. We're here to augment what's already here. We're here to slot into what's already here. You know, we want to keep those people who work in the plastic plants. We want them to keep their jobs. We want them to continue to work, just shift their same skill set towards more sustainable alternatives. And it's the same thing with the chemists and engineers. We recruit almost exclusively from, you know, oil majors, oil and gas companies, because they have amazing, amazing people with great skill sets. We do not want to put them out of a job. We want to recruit them. We want to shift the industry towards more sustainability and more environmentally friendly solutions. So we're definitely here as the next evolution of this industry, not to replace it.
Wow, that's incredible.
I think a lot of people will like to hear that. Zimri. Yeah.
Especially kids coming out of college and maybe they don't align with some viewpoints, but it's like this is up their alley, but they can still get that degree that they've been working so hard toward. So that's awesome.
That's an excellent point. That's a really good point. All right, we are out of time. Zimri Hinshaw, CEO of Rheom Materials, going big places. So you're going to know, guys, you heard it here first on Forecasting with Friends. It's going to be huge. Thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
All right, take care.
Take care.
We will be talking a little bit about the weather forecast. We also got a couple little stories, I think, coming up in the next block. We went a little long with Zimri, but I thought it was so interesting. We probably could have spent an hour with him. But anyway.
Exactly, yeah.
So we'll be back with more fluff right after this. Forecasting with Friends.
Welcome back to Forecasting with Friends, everyone. Now, we are just a week ago, it was a completely different story across the Southeast as we were monitoring Hurricane Helene make landfall and then bring catastrophic flooding from Atlanta all the way to the Carolinas, and they're still dealing with the cleanup now.
Yep, and it's going to turn out to be the worst that we've seen in a lot of places, especially as far as the death toll since Katrina. Yeah,
it's just
really
so heartbreaking
stuff
to see. So we want to show you guys new video out of North Carolina this morning.
All right, we got to think about getting out of here.
Oh my
Can you imagine?
goodness.
Can you imagine?
No.
So this video came into our newsroom of flooding, obviously triggered by Hurricane Helene. Now these are all neighbors that are gathered in a home, that is somebody's living room.
Look at all the animals.
Chest deep water, and they went in there, they're holding their pets. They're trying to rescue their pets because, you know, you've got a cat, you know, whatever, you know, and dogs, they're not going to be able to just tread water the whole time.
No way.
And they're probably scared to death. So this is from Hendersonville, North Carolina.
And that is not clean water. Look at how dirty that is.
Yeah.
We were talking mudslides, landslides. You don't know what's in that water. You know, maybe they don't have alligators up there, but there's other types of critters that could be in there.
Yeah, you got snakes, you've got ants, you've got bacteria.
And potentially sewage.
Sewage maybe even in there. Oh my gosh, what a nightmare.
It's just so devastating to see, and that they just got so much water. That fell, but then you think of the higher elevations, the water has to come somewhere, so down the Appalachians it goes and right into these cities. And I mean, I've never been to Asheville, but I have heard it is beyond
It's supposed to be beautiful, yeah, it's supposed to be beautiful, and part of it is the landscape, you know, with all the mountains and valleys and all that. But, you know, here in Houston, look, you know how bad our flooding is here. But we're basically flat, you know. Up there, they get the torrents of rain that go rushing down, and like I was talking to JD about it earlier this week. It's like you don't just have the water rushing downhill. You've got trees and roofs and God only knows what. All we had video yesterday. We showed you of a casket I mean, all like flowing down the street and taking out everything in its path. So it's, oh man, it's scary stuff.
And you knew how it was when we had Hurricane Beryl, even the tornado roll through, no power. I mean, these folks can't get in contact with their family that lives there. And it just beyond breaks my heart. So our prayers and love is going out to all of them.
Awful. Now this is interesting. I had never heard of anything like this. This is like going back to the pioneer days, okay? They're using mules. Yes, mules that are walking around the debris and the destroyed roads in North Carolina to deliver insulin. Can't get through. You can't get through with the traditional means of just delivery drivers, you know, UPS truck or something.
And even a person trying to walk on this, I mean, it's a long way. These are long roads, but you know, folks need to survive. And it's just so incredible to see the people hanging out, helping out rather. And I mean, just take a look at the devastation. But these folks are so thankful and grateful that they can get the medication they need.
Who would have even thought about that?
And that they had to shuttle them in.
That, you know, it would be too much for a person to walk and carry, I guess, all the supplies they're carrying. And they did have a horse there, I think, too. But the mule is like the pack mule is carrying, you know, all the supply. It's amazing.
It's so incredible. And quickly before we go to break, we want to show you some satellite images of the devastation in North Carolina of what Helene left behind.
So this is like a before and after, yeah.
I mean, look at that. You can't see the
everything
little roads.
Everything is, let's see, everything is probably going to be just covered in mud and a lot of the buildings that were there are gone.
Yeah, you can't even see them. I mean, you've looked at the video of the landslides, the mudslides that are just carrying these houses. I mean, could you imagine your neighbor's house just gets picked up, down, and then just completely destroyed? So, I mean, it's just beyond devastating to see what happened. And you know, with these natural disasters, you don't ask for it, and maybe in some cases, folks were just not prepared for it. Especially because you think of you live in the mountains in North Carolina, a hurricane's hitting Florida. Oh, it's
and if this is the worst in 100 years, then they didn't even, at least in those mountains, then there was really not even anything in recent memory that anybody could even compare it to. So, so that cleanup is probably going to take months and months and months, maybe years. So I think we're going to have about a minute or two for a quick tropical update coming up after this, because there's a little bit of weirdness in the Gulf. You know, probably nothing as bad as Helene, but something we need you to know about. And we'll have that for you coming up.
Welcome back, everyone. Quickly, just want to touch on the tropics. Unsettled weather is going to be the name of the game across the Gulf of Mexico over the next several days. We could be getting a surge of some coastal showers and storms Friday, Saturday, but that's all going to be clearing out as we head into early next week. Now, next 7 days, could be seeing a few showers, but honestly, as this front moves through, weather looks great by the start of next week. We'll see you guys tomorrow.